Hey everyone, it's your girl Monica Leigh, and welcome back to another episode of the Drive Thru. Last week, we laughed about all the little things that we do that make absolutely no sense at all. And apparently, I've concluded that none of us have it all together either. It's not a bad thing, okay? But that actually makes me feel a little better. However, today we're talking about something that I think every adult can relate to. And that is, drum roll please, adulting. And not just adulting, but how adulting is a scam. I'm serious. I'm serious. Somewhere between being a kid and becoming an adult, somebody forgot to tell us that we were signing up for something bigger than what we anticipated. Because personally, had I known, I would have had a few more questions. Like, who approved this? Because I certainly didn't. So, let's talk about this. Because also, adulting in today's time frame, in 2026, is a lot different than where we were, depending on how old you are. But it definitely is different than maybe how our parents were or their parents. So I want to talk about this today. The bottom line is nobody prepared us. Essentially, nobody prepared us, right? I mean, you are taught certain things. You are kind of discussed amongst, with a lot of friends, families. You can have little powwows about why is such and such doing things this way, or I can't understand why this is what is expected of me, right? So nobody actually prepares us for what's to come. It can be shared with us, or we can see what other people, meaning our parents, family, even, friends that may be a little older than us too, what they dealt with, right? And for so many of us, we are kind of like in the middle of, okay, this is what was done before, this is what was shared with us, but this is how it actually translates to as myself, being an adult. Because honestly, growing up looks so easy. When you're 10 years old, you think adults have everything figured out. You don't have a care in the world. You're just supposed to do as what you've been told to do. Your parents, they have jobs. Adults have jobs. They have cars. They have houses. They have money. They have freedom, right? Like all these things that we know to this day, going all those years back, we were looking forward to being an adult. We couldn't wait. The milestone ages too of what we could do differently when we hit those ages than when we were younger kids and the younger versions of ourselves, right? So it's like you couldn't wait to grow up. And then one day, hello, congratulations, you are officially an adult. And suddenly you are asking yourself, wait, this is it? Yeah. Nobody tells you how much time that you will spend trying to decide what is for dinner every single day. Okay? And to all of you all out there that are parents, you know exactly what that means. Okay? You just want to breathe for a second. Even if you don't have kids, how about spouses, significant others? It's the same thing. We just want to breathe for 2 seconds, right? Because it's like, didn't we just eat yesterday? And why am I making this decision again? You finally decide, and then someone says, here's the classic. I don't want that. Great. That's just wonderful. Because now we are back to square one. And I know that when I was growing up, and I would say probably a good portion of you could attest to this, that what was being fixed for dinner, you were either going to eat it or that was it. There was no other option. Back then you were just grateful for what the meal of the evening was going to be. You didn't say anything. You didn't complain. And if you were going to complain, I guess you just weren't eating dinner, even nowadays, you know what I mean? If you don't like, what somebody's preparing for you, and I'll use kids these days, not all of them are like that, right? Especially the ones that have a very wide palate, they're not picky eaters, maybe, and it's not even just picky, maybe they're allergic. So you have to be mindful of that. But let's just stick with the ones that just like are picky in the sense that they just feel like, no, it doesn't sit well with them. It was either like, okay, you don't want to eat that? Go fix something else because I'm not doing it. Okay. So you either eat what I make or you just find something else or just don't eat it all. So that's where, it used to go back to square one. But the other thing is that, gosh, why does everything cost so much in general? Okay. Because bills, they have a lot of nerve because they just keep showing up every month, every single month without fail. Electric, water, internet, insurance, mortgage or rent, cell phone, streaming services. I know I sound like I am promoting a little shop of its own, a shop of things that nobody wants to be bothered with, right? I mean, my gosh, it's like, here you are. Okay. You paid everything that was due. No more do you realize the next day, somehow you start getting, in the mail for the next month. It's just like, my gosh, just give you a break. And somehow the money leaves your account faster than it came in. And here's what really gets me. You finally pay one bill and you feel accomplished, right? Like you have actually leveled up and you have done something. Then another notification pops up. Payment due. Excuse me? I beg your pardon. Like, didn't I just pay you people? The reality is, although we as individuals that take vacations, whether it be with our families or solo trips or our best friends, bills do not. They don't know what that means. And more importantly, they don't care, right? They don't call in sick, but they are consistent. I almost respect it. Almost. But when you sit back and think about these things, it's just like almost just so interesting how we analyze these things. But again, bills don't have feelings, and more importantly, they don't care about ours. And another thing, the lovely adulting circle, right? So you've got bills, and with bills, that means responsibilities. And as you are going through life, dealing with different bills, as the bills, continue and evolve, we do as well in life. It's called aging. That's what it's called. It's called aging. And it's so funny that I've heard a lot of my friends now saying that aging is just it's not what they anticipated. And we're not talking about necessarily what it looks like on the outside, right? I mean, of course, age gracefully, embrace the way that you look always, right? Because that is part of the aging process, right? You're going to grow through what you go through. That's not always a bad thing. But also with aging becomes your body. Not even so much, again, how it looks. How about how it feels? And how about why does, your body start making random sounds? I'm serious. Like you question, this was definitely not part of the agenda, growing up. You always knew like, oh, this is what you have to look forward to. And as again, going back, when we were younger and thinking about aging, we were excited. We were looking forward to it. You know what I mean? And why not? But to know that your body now is starting to kind of conform to different changes of all sorts, and including these just random sounds, right? Because listen, this is something that nobody warned any of us about. Your body does start making noises, right? You stand up, crack. You bend over, pop. You get out of bed, snap. It's like a whole little like percussion group, right? It's like a background group and you are the lead singer. And somehow you are just expected to continue with your day like nothing happened. And what age, okay? Just a question about this. What age did stretching become mandatory? Because listen, we know what we're supposed to do. Whether we're at the gym, whether we're taking a Pilates or a yoga class, like we know what we should be doing. But when you're a little younger, it's just because we know what is expected of us and what is shared with us, that doesn't always automatically translate what we are supposed to do. The fact that you are supposed to just know what is expected of you and how that really translates to, am I actually doing that? That's interesting in itself, right? So stretching really is, and it should be implemented daily. I don't even care if you're just doing neck stretches, if you are just looking over left shoulder, right shoulder. Hey, guess what? At least smile when you're doing that because you never know who's looking, right? But also, when did you start hearing people making noises, even just putting on their shoes? Like a little grunt, maybe even a you know what I mean? Like these things. And it's just like, it's so interesting. It's like, and I truly believe not all of us are aware that we are doing things like this. And these are just some examples, right? But how about just the sleeping aspect? You can sleep 8 hours, wake up, and then somehow your neck still hurts. How? Because me personally, I am trying to understand how come I could be in a deep sleep, me personally, in a deep sleep, thinking that I had a good sleep, nothing hurt when I went to sleep. And when I get up, I just feel so tight or stiff. And I'm just like, why? Why? What did I do? I even have to lean up in bed sometimes thinking like, okay, I don't know. Did my phone somehow manage to, creep up underneath my neck? I don't know. Is there something like earring or a bracelet? I know that sounds crazy, but it's like there's no rhyme or reason on why you are feeling like this, right? And you're trying to ask yourself how. I was unconscious. I wasn't doing anything. So literally, how did I get injured sleeping? And all I have to say is make it make sense. And yes, I have the raised eyebrow right now and giving the side eye because you need to let me know how this is even possible. Okay? Okay. But these are just some things as an adult that sometimes when you stop and realize and think about these things, it's crazy because when you actually acknowledge it, it's like, okay, now that you are aware, How many of us are going to now really be mindful of thinking, okay, let me try something. Let me just try a different way of maybe sleeping. Let me just, try to have a different approach on even just walking. Maybe now I really should stretch a little bit. And again, we just tie it to being an adult and aging. And that's part of life, right? I have another one for you. Here's another adult scam, if you will. Running one quick errand. And I'm throwing up the air quotes under one quick errand. Okay? So, because you already know there is no such thing. Repeat after me. There is no such thing. Because you leave the house thinking it'll take 20 minutes. First stop. The store is out of what you need. Okay. So you already know in your head you have a backup store, or maybe two, right? So if one store doesn't have it, you already know, okay, well, that's fine. And you're not even really stressing. You're not even worried about it. It doesn't matter because you've always had that backup. But first stop, the store is out of what you need. Second stop, though, here comes traffic. Third stop, you remember not only that you're at the third stop now, you are already realizing that you forgot something else that you should have remembered the first store that you went to. Okay. So now you are making another stop. We are on stop number 4, people. Stop number 4. So now that you're making another stop, next thing you know, you just happen to look at your watch, your phone. 3 hours have gone by. Have you made any progress? Have you? I mean, because in 3 hours time frame, and you still have not fulfilled your daily task of going to run your errands, and more importantly, being successful at it. Okay? So at this point, you are exhausted. You've spent money you didn't plan on spending, and yet somehow you still forgot the one thing you originally left the house to buy. Thank you so much. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Post-it notes. Thank you, timer. Thank you, planner. Thank you, hey, just something that could have just helped you remember the first time. And I say all this because, this is life. But the funny thing about it is that we just have to sometimes just navigate as we go. That it's one of those things, just like parenting, that there are no instructions. And sometimes, if not most of the times, life has a funny way of taking us on an unexpected detour, or what I would say, an unexpected road trip, right? So you make the most of it. It's just the way that it is. And honestly, adulting, maybe it isn't such an actual scam, but maybe it's just one long series of plot twists that nobody prepared us for. And if we are being honest, we're all figuring out one day at a time. And I say that in all seriousness. Trying to figure things out sometimes could just be stressful in itself. Sometimes you just have to let it all go. Let it all go, because when you focus so much on being perfect at that one little thing and you're pouring your energy all into that one thing, it never is a success. The end result is never successful. But when you just learn to stop trying to control things that we can control, things tend to be a little bit easier. So look at it like this. Some days we've got it together. Some days we don't. Simple as that. And then some days we meal prep. Some days we'll answer emails, work out, and feel like we've conquered the world. And that is so great, because guess what? We should be proud about those things. However, on other days, we're just proud we remembered why we walked into the grocery store. These are little wins. And as an adult versus us 20 years ago, these make us feel happy. These make us feel happy, right? And it's okay because regardless, you're winning. It's a different time that we're in right now, from when we're in our 20s to when we're in 40s to even older. And it's okay. We need to learn how to accept these things as they are presented to us. Whether we're prepared or not, it's okay sometimes just to reset, restart, and just let everything go. At the end of the day, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We just want to make sure that we remind ourselves that we are humans, that there is no blueprint for being an adult. Yes, we always say we look up to our parents, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, our godparents, even just people in our life that have passed down so much goodness and have instilled so many positive things and trademarks to us. The best that we can do at this point in our life is learn just to go with the flow, ride the wave all the way, learn to just take every day as it comes, because not every day is going to be the same. So it's okay. And that's how I'm going to say it. So before we get out of here today, I want to hear from you. Okay? I want to hear in the comments. I want to hear, send me a message, comments. Okay? But I want to hear from you. That's the most important thing. What's one part of being an adult that nobody warned you about? Is it the bills? Or even maybe the laundry or the grocery shopping, right? Trying to decide maybe what's for dinner every single night, or maybe it could be something completely different. I want to hear from you. Send me a message, drop it in the comments, because if today's episode proved anything at all, it's that we're all just doing the best that we can. And honestly, that's enough. So, as always, I thank you all for joining me on another episode of the Drive Thru, and of course, spending part of your day with me, wherever you may be. I do appreciate every single one of you. And if today's episode made you laugh, or even just reminded you that you're definitely not alone in this world that we live in as adults, share it with someone. Share it with someone who's out here trying to survive adulthood too. And as I say, as always, don't forget to pull up, same time, same place, next week. And until then, you take care of you, and I will see you soon. Bye.